I am Moiz Shamuddin, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, MVSR Engineering College, Hyderabad. Earlier we discussed in earlier sessions about the overview and also the problems on t-test. Today, in this particular session, we will be dealing with only f-test. It's the syllabus copy, and we are dealing with 5th unit, and here are the topics of the 5th unit. This particular first 3 topics are discussed with respect to t-test, and test for ratio of variances is the only topic that we need to deal under f-test, and this chi-square test will talk in the next session. So f-test is basically used in checking the significance of the difference between population variances. There are so many other cases also, but in the syllabus we are limited only to this particular case. And you know in earlier sessions that this slide I have repeated. These are the 5 steps to be remembered. You have to identify which test of significance to be applied, what are the null and alternative hypotheses. Better it is that you see the session on t-test, you will get a lot of clarity, I hope. And third step is calculating the value of f in this particular f test. Earlier it was t in the t test. So we will calculate the f value, that is the test statistic. We will calculate the critical, we will locate the critical value from the f table, and then depending upon that we will accept or reject. That is the main criteria used everywhere. So this is the curve of distribution. If it is f test, that depends upon f distribution, and this is some part of the curve which I have drawn. I have removed here the vertical axis, means I am showing only the last end part of that particular distribution. So this is similar to that t, only the graph changes, but the thing is that the concept of accepting null hypothesis or rejecting null hypothesis is same, that calculated value, if it is less than the critical value, this is the critical value. If the calculated value is less, it is accepting null hypothesis. If the calculated value is greater than this critical value, we reject the null hypothesis. Let's solve the problem. Before we enter into the problem, this is the test statistics which we have to calculate. Sigma 1 cap is the estimate for the population variance. Sigma 1 cap square is the estimate of, unbiased estimate of the population variance. Now how to calculate that sigma 1 square, sigma 1 cap square and the sigma 2 cap square, we will be taking in the problem. But one point to be noted, that is, once we calculate the variances of 2 samples, we need to calculate gamma 1 as 1 less than number of items from the sample with larger variance. We will see the problem here. Means here we will take this value from the sample with greater variance and this from the sample with lesser variance, so that the numerator always is greater than the denominator. We will see in the problem. Now 2 random samples of sizes 9 and 7 gave the sum of squares of the deviations from their respective means as 175 and 95 respectively. Can they be regarded as drawn from normal population with the same variance? It is a problem. Now first sample is having 9 elements, second sample is having 7 elements. In the question, it is not given how much is the value of the standard deviation, nor it is given the variance of the sample, but it is given that sum of the squares of the deviations from their respective means. What is that here? You see, this sigma is taken for the square of this difference. This difference is the deviation of this value from the mean, and this is the square of the deviation, and this is the sum of the square of the deviations. So sum of the squares of the deviations it has to be equal to n1 into s1 square, because you know that s1 square is variance of the sample, and if you divide here with n1, it is going to become the formula for s1 square. Or you know very well, if I apply the square root here by taking n1 here, then everybody of you will assume that it is s1. By removing this square, I'll take the square root here. So better I'll try to draw it somewhat. I take this n1 here, that is n1, then I'll be getting just this s1. This square is gone. So this is the formula for that particular standard deviation of the sample. But standard deviation of the sample is not given. It is given that the sum of the squares of the deviations from the respective mean, it is 175, but that has to become n1 into s1 square. Now keep in mind that f value which we have to calculate for this f test, we need to memorize this as sigma 1 cap square is equal to n1 into s1 square by n1 minus 1. But this n1 into s1 square is given as the sum of the squares and the sum of the squares of the deviations, and that is 175. So it is n1 into s1 square, that is 175, and n1 minus 1 is 9 minus 1, that is 8, and that is finally 21.875. Similarly, sigma 2 cap square is n2 into s2 square by n2 minus 1, that is finally 15.833. Now if you look at these values, this sigma 1 cap square is bigger when compared to this one. So this has to come up in the numerator and this has to come in the denominator. It is quite possible that sigma 1 cap square may be smaller, this may be bigger. If first sample gives lesser variance, second sample gives bigger variance, then the value for f in this f test should be sigma 2 cap square by sigma 1 cap square. See that numerator comes bigger and denominator comes smaller. So once it is decided which sample is giving us the bigger variance, we have to calculate the degrees of freedom from that. So the first degree of freedom is n1 minus 1, because here this is giving the bigger, because this is giving the bigger variance. Gamma 1 comes from first sample and gamma 2 comes from second sample. Always gamma 1 is number of items minus 1 from the sample which is giving bigger variance. Here in this case first sample itself, and hence it is 9 minus 1, that is 8. Gamma 2 is 7, this n2 minus 1, that is 7 minus 1 is 6. So now we need to look at the F table with 5% level of significance, with first degree of freedom as 8 and second degree of freedom as 6, and the tabular value is 4.15. I have included the tables here. For 5%, it is the values of F with nu1 comma nu2. Nu1 is here to be taken as 8, and I'll highlight this better. This 8, nu1 is 8 and nu2 is 6, and the corresponding value comes as 4.15. So this is the value 4.15. Now the test statistic is F is equal to sigma 1 cap square by sigma 2 cap square, 21.875. Earlier in this we have calculated, and second one is 15.833, that is this one. So this has to come always greater than 1, and that is 1 point, because numerator is always taken as the bigger value among these two, 1.381, and this is less than the critical value. Critical value is 4.15, calculated value is 1.381. It is less than this, therefore we accept the null hypothesis and conclude that the two random samples are drawn from the population with the same variance. And these are the tables included for that, and this is the PDF of F distribution. F test depends upon F distribution. Looking at this D1 and D2 are two parameters. Once the D1 and D2 are fixed, for example, we have calculated with D1 equal to 8. Just now we discussed this one with 8 and D2 as 6. Once it is fixed, then it is going to become a function of x only, and we'll be getting the values of f of x. And it is clear we are taking square root, therefore x value negative is not allowed in this one, and hence we will have the graph of f of x only on the right of positive x axis, that is we don't take negative x values. This is the probability density function for F distribution, and interested students can see the graph of that. I think I have mentioned here the graph of F distribution. You might have seen here we are not having anything on the left, we are talking only upon the right, and this is same like critical value again, rejection region, acceptance region. Because the calculated value has come less than the critical value, we have accepted the null hypothesis. This is the main idea used in every test of significance. This problem I had done, and here if the random sample values are given, instead of giving the sum of the squares of the deviations, all these things, if there are two series of values are given, x series with some 8 elements and y series with some 10 elements, then we need to calculate sigma 1 cap square as n1 into s1 square. This s1 square is the variance of that sample. We have to calculate the variance of the given sample. You know how to calculate that variance, that is nothing but the square of the standard deviation, and if you know how to find the standard deviation, it is just going to give you s1 square. So sigma 1 cap square is n1 into s1 square by n1 minus 1. Sigma 2 cap square is n2 into s2 square by n2 minus 1. And finally the test statistic is f is equal to sigma 1 cap square by sigma 2 cap square. Keep in mind that you have to take the numerator as the bigger value, and you have to take gamma 1 as 1 less than number of observations from a sample with larger variance, and gamma 2 is n2 minus 1. Gamma 1 is 1 less than the number of observations from a sample which is giving bigger variance. So the numerical problems related to chi-square test we will be discussing in the next part. Thank you.